Hey guys, Jessica here. So today I'm going to be reviewing Vanguard's robo advisor service called Vanguard Digital Advisor. This is a pretty new product from Vanguard. I think it's a couple of years old. So what I'm going to be doing is taking a look at their fees, the investment options that they have, the features of the product, as well as I'm going to just sign up for an account and review also as we go to see how easy the product is to use. Before jumping into it, quick mention that we're Uprise. We are a fintech company that puts together personalized financial plans completely free. And this is pretty much what we do, which is to review the universe of financial products and optimizations out there to figure out specifically what you should be doing with your finances. So, to get your plan, definitely check out, I've linked to us in the description below. So, getting back to it, Vanguard is one of the most well known names in investing. And they also have this really great reputation in the industry for keeping fees as low as possible, which is really amazing. That said, they are relatively late to the game in terms of robo advising. They have one of the newest products on the market, but there have been other products, Wealthfront, Betterment, as well as all of the giant guys like Fidelity, Schwab, et cetera, who all have had robo advisors out there for quite some time already. So we're going to see how Vanguard's product stacks up. So to give you guys an overview, what I'm going to be doing today is pulling up my screen and showing you guys pretty much how I evaluate whether a product is good or not. So I'm going to be looking first at their fees. I'm going to look at sort of what investments they're going to be putting my money into, as well as generally speaking, like what features they have in this in their product versus say some of the other players. And then lastly, I'm going to go and just sign up for the account and see how easy or hard they are to use. Okay, so I'm on the Digital Advisor website. And before diving into it, I just want to say for people who don't know, but robo advisors in general are supposed to help people put investments on autopilot, right? And I want to say that, hey, I'm a big fan of robo advisors. The main reason is because they help prevent human biases from getting in the way of investing. Human biases being one of the biggest reasons for underperformance of people's investments compared to the market. And so one of the things I'll be looking for in addition to everything else is, how much Vanguard can actually help you put things on autopilot. But jumping into it first, we're going to look at fees. And so I'm going to scroll down here. So it says here, charges no more than $2 a year for every $1,000 you invest. And I'm going to keep going to get a little bit more detail. Here. So how much they cost. So they mentioned they charge 0.2% in advisory fees. That's at $2 mentioned above. 0.2% is already very low compared to other players in the market. So the bigger guys like Wealthfront and Betterment, who are more well known for their robo advisory product, charge 0.25%. So that's already great. But the really interesting thing is I'm going to keep going down into the footnotes here. So it says that they charge 0.2%. But the interesting thing is that they are going to, normally they take your money and they put that money into Vanguard ETFs. And what they're saying is a Vanguard ETF, normally if you just go on your own and go invest in a Vanguard ETF, that will cost roughly 0.05%. And what they're saying here is that if they take your money and they put it in a Vanguard ETF, and so some other department of Vanguard, the ETF department, is making 0.05%, they will then take that 0.05% and credit it back to your account, meaning that in total, you are only paying 0.2%, which I think is really incredible. It's just so transparent in terms of how they're doing fees. I wanted to just show you guys a little bit of what I mean. Okay, so this is a slide on robo-advisors that we put together at Uprise. I mean, we are constantly monitoring all the different products out there for robo-advisors, but also many other financial products. But specifically, what I'm talking about is, so normally you have account fees and you have ETF fees. So ETF fees are the investments, right? The investments themselves have fees, and then managing your account has fees. And so for most of these other players, 0.25% Wealthfront, Betterment also 0.25%. And then they advertise this number. They don't talk about this number, right? But the fees that ETFs, but the ETFs themselves have fees. And so actually the total amount that you're paying for Wealthfront and Betterment are way more than the 0.25% that is advertised. Meanwhile, Vanguard is able to charge in total 0.2%, which is less than that stated account fee amount. And I just think that's really incredible that they're really able to be a cost leader and investing. Again, another thing that is really important to investment returns is to keep those fees as low as possible. So I'm super, super impressed with what Vanguard is doing here. And then the next thing I'm going to look at is basically what they invest you in. By the way, I just want to call out, you could probably see that Charles Schwab here, they have stated account fees of 0. And this is, it annoys the heck out of me that they would advertise that it's free when it's actually not free, that there are these ETF fees that they're not calling out, which are actually higher than sort of the industry average. But on top of that, there's another reason why Charles Schwab's product is not great is because they allocate a big chunk to cash. And then they make money off of your investments sitting in cash, which is a huge drag on your returns. I won't go too much into Charles Schwab. Here, I would love to do a separate review video about their Intelligent Portfolios product. But in any case, the next thing I wanted to call out is this idea of proprietary ETFs. And so this is getting at the next thing I wanted to evaluate, which is, okay, so these robo-advisors, what do they actually invest your money into? What kind of investments are they making? And you can see here that Vanguard is investing your money in proprietary ETFs, but I put a little okay here, and I'll explain in a second. Okay, so this is Vanguard's FAQ, and if you scroll down here, so Vanguard's Digital Advisor is actually very simple. It invests your money. If you put your money into Vanguard Digital Advisor, it invests your money into 4 ETFs, which you could say is very, very simple. That said, these are incredible funds, meaning that they are super diversified. This total stock market is like pretty much all the stocks in the US. And then this international stock fund is like a ginormous portfolio of stocks that are outside the US. And then they also do US bonds and international bonds. And then basically based on your risk profile, your age, the things that matter to you, they will allocate your money between these 4 things. And I think the fundamental premise is that this is enough, that there's so much complexity and this kind of stuff in investing, but you don't actually need more than that. And I want to just like click into here, VTI. It is actually a very, very good ETF. It is well diversified, and the reason why I say it's very good is the fact that that expense ratio, which is the fee, I hate that it's called expense ratio, but anyway, the expense ratio is 0.03%, which is so low. So in general, the principle is that you don't want a robo-advisor to be investing your money in their own ETFs because they may be, not in your best interest. Vanguard is the exception because Vanguard's ETFs are in fact the best in the market with the lowest fees. And so actually this is a great thing. I will compare this with Wealthfront. So Wealthfront has started to invest people's money into their own fund called the Risk Parity Fund. And you can see here, the Risk Parity Fund has an expense ratio of 0.25%. That is like way, way higher than that 0.03%, right, that we were looking at with the Vanguard one. And that they might even allocate 20% of your portfolio to their own fund. And so the question is, right, does Wealthfront's Risk Parity Fund have a sort of risk reward profile that is significantly greater than Vanguard's diversified market fund to justify that meaningful increase in fee? And I feel like that is very much up in the air. So I'd just be really, really cautious when robo-advisors are investing your money in their own funds, with the exception of Vanguard. And so the last thing to look at is how easy is it to use Vanguard Digital Advisor? It's a relatively new product. And so let's give that a try. Okay, so I'm back on Vanguard Digital Advisor's website, and just what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click Get Started, but I already have a separate Vanguard account with a traditional IRA in it, and I'm just going to enroll that account into Vanguard Digital Advisor. So we'll see how easy that process is. Okay, so get started. I logged in, and then it's asking me to check my phone to enter the security code. Let's do that. Next. Welcome back. So this is interesting because I already had an account. It kind of just like sped me through the entire process, it looks like. I don't know how accurate it is, and we could take a look at that in a bit. But at least I'm totally fine with a simple process. And also just call out here, right, that they're giving this 90-day trial for people to use. I think a lot of this, by the way, is because they're still relatively new, so they're still working out some of those kinks. But let's go ahead. All right, so continue. And here, choose which account you want to enroll. So actually, hey, if you have, multiple Vanguard accounts already, you can choose which ones you want to sign up for digital advisor, which ones you don't. As I mentioned, this one only has that one traditional IRA in it. So we're going to enroll that and hit continue. Review asset mix and investments. Because I still have a long time to go until retirement and relatively risk taking, they're putting all of the money into stocks, which is totally fine for me. And so this is what's happening. Previously, it was looking like this, and now they are going to sell these things, and it will look like that. This 4897 here in VXUS and 7346 in VTI. Okay, first 90 days, $0 in fees, and then afterwards $1.53 in fees for this 12,000 some dollar portfolio. Confirm. All right, final step is to enroll. And here they're just asking you to, from what I could gather, it's like, you don't have to do anything. You shouldn't do anything. They will take care of everything for you, and then they will charge you fees. All good. Check those off and hit enroll. And you're now enrolled. That was very, very straightforward. And then we go and log back on, and they take us to this now Digital Advisor homepage. Hit next, next, next. Okay, so now I'm on the dashboard. I just want to say, by the way, that was so incredibly easy. Yes, a big reason is because, already had that Vanguard account set up, and so it allowed me to skip so many of those steps. But in previous experiences using Digital Advisor, it was not nearly that easy. They had to make you go through manual, like selling things in your other portfolio in order for it to be eligible for Vanguard. And so I'm very, very happy to see that they've made huge improvements in the course of the last year. To the simplicity of their product. And so basically down here, this has a lot more features for you to sort of monitor, how well you're prepared for retirement. Here it says well-funded, but if you scroll down here, it's because I realized target spending amount in retirement is $0 per month. Any amount would be well-funded, right? If you're not planning on spending anything. And so this isn't accurate, I'm sure that this tool is incredibly powerful, but you just have to take the time to go and add in all of your goals, add in all of your accounts, including your external accounts. And so that's a little bit of the challenge here, but I think it has some pretty powerful tools to be able to help you figure out, hey, how much more you need to be saving for retirement and how you should be thinking about that. They also have some other calculators and stuff like that for you to use. So I'm going to come back up here and click into accounts just to see everything going through. So it seems like it's all successful. That account has that little manage check mark here. And I think that's pretty much it. One other thing to call out is that, as I mentioned, it's still a little bit new, so it's still a little bit clunky. And I'll show you why. If you go up here and you hit open an account, so some of these links still take you to that old school Vanguard experience. So it's still kind of links you from the new experience to the old one, sometimes links you back to the new experience. So that's where a little bit of the clunkiness is. But as far as I can tell, in my time using this platform, is that it's working. It sometimes feels a little bit clunky, but it is absolutely working super easily. And for the most part, you don't have to touch this account at all. In fact, they'll just send you emails to say, hey, we made this trade, this thing happened, oh, your paycheck has deposited, and we've already invested that money straight into the right funds for you. So in general, I am very, very happy with this product, both because of how easy it is to use, but then the second thing is just that the fee, right? It's just low and transparent, and I'm a big fan of all of that. And that's it. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys think as well. If you have had experience with Vanguard Digital Advisor or any of the other robos, I'd love to hear from you guys also. What do you think? What other products do you think we should review next? One that's on my list is actually to do a review on Schwab, as I mentioned in the video. Also, if you like more support with personal finance, definitely make sure to check out Uprise. The link's in the description below. We make personalized Wall Street level financial plans completely and 100% for free. So if you have any questions about getting started with investing, managing a budget, taking a look at employer benefits, whatever it is, we'd be happy to help. And on average, we've put 100K in net worth back into people's pockets. Other than that, if you'd like to see more videos like this one, please give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and click the bell for notifications. See you guys next time.